Hello, everybody, and welcome back. And for those of you that are new, welcome. Today's topic is going to be creation is finished. We're going to get into this, why it's so vital to understand, why you should be returning to this understanding to pretty much manifest anything, guys. It's so vital that you really walk with this in the back of your head because it makes it so much easier to accept a new fact, to accept a new state of consciousness when you do this, guys, okay? So that being said, before I get into it, embodythestate.com. The link will be in the description if you need it. If you need any form of coaching and help, feel free to go there. I tell everybody you do not need coaching in order to manifest anything, right? It's only there as a luxury if you don't want to read all the books I've read, if you don't want to make all the mistakes I've made, if you just want to get the nitty gritty, know what to do, get an explanation of things, and then know what to do moving forward, then that's what it's for. It's just a luxury if you can afford it. And before I move on to the topic, the last thing I want to mention is I did add voice messages back as an option that's available to be grabbed. It's only temporary. There's only a limited amount of slots, guys. It's just there in order to kind of keep things moving faster and slowly. Moving faster instead of slowly. And, it's going to come back. So I'm thinking every time I clear maybe 10 clients, I'll put in 10 more slots or something like that, okay? So there's a new description box as well. Go read the description. And if it applies to you, feel free to check it out, guys, okay? So that being said, let's get into it. Creation is finished. This is a topic that I personally love to think about. This is something that I really contemplate, I would say daily. I don't think a day goes by where I don't, at least look at something with this understanding, right? And this is why I want you guys to drill this into your minds, right? Creation is finished. And what does that mean? So with your SP, your bank account, your career, health, whatever it may be, right? Whatever you want, understand that, number one, those things that you want is your higher self nudging you. It's your spirit, it's your soul, right? It's you nudging. It's your higher self nudging you that this is meant for you to be experienced. This is promised to you, right? Look at it like that. Like, hey, this is already done. So why are you not giving it to yourself, right? That's how I view desires. I don't view desires as something like, oh no, I'm lacking. I wish I had it. It would be so nice if I had it, right? I don't look at it like that, right? If I see something I want, I give it to myself in that moment, right? It's like Neville says, you're kind of planting seeds, right? I walk around planting seeds all the time, right? I literally walk around when I see something I like, give it to myself. See something else I like, give it to myself. Go to the mall, something that's not really a purchase that is worth buying, but I kind of want it. Instead of spending my money then and there, I could just give it to myself, right? And as long as I don't contradict it after, it'll find its way to me, right? And I'm planting seeds. And what happens when you do this and you practice not contradicting yourself, just planting a seed once, you can allow it to sprout and grow, right? And that's the beauty of creation is finished. When you look at life through this understanding that everything I want is already mine. It's already done. I just can't see it in this timeline, in this reality. But when I know that creation is finished and I want something, I understand that I can then just give it to myself because it's not like I'm trying to create that experience out of thin air. It's already being experienced. That's why when I start looking at my desire from the person that has it, I start spawning these thoughts of having it, right? That's why I tell people you have to become that person first and watch your mind paint a picture, right? And when you're doing that with the understanding that what I want and what I see in my inner world is already created, it makes no sense to then look at that and be like, it would be nice. Don't do that, guys. It's already done. Like, do you understand? It's already done. Creation is finished, guys. It is yours. So when you think of the SP and you guys are holding hands or cuddling or doing something in your mind, you're not looking at just random things that you create out of thin air. It is finished, guys. Literally, creation is finished. It is something that is already done. So what is left for you to do? To just accept that, right? Think about it. How good does it feel when you think about your desire right now? And whether it's SP, money, doesn't matter. And then you instantly jump to the understanding that possibility is already experienced. Like, it's already being experienced, right? It's already done. And if I want it, I just have to experience that being true, right? I have to embody that being a fact. So when you understand that what you are doing within yourself is just you choosing which possibilities you're kind of activating, you're giving life to, then you understand it's so easy. I want my SP, right, which is the most common thing, right? I would say about 98% of my clients are SP related, so that's why I use SP often. But I want SP, and I'm thinking of her, right? We're on the couch, and we're cuddling, and that makes me feel loved, right? But I don't have a contradiction. I don't have a hard time feeling loved or feeling joyful about that picture in my mind. Why? Because I'm returning to creation is finished. I understand that if I am seeing us holding hands or cuddling on the couch watching Netflix or something, If I'm seeing that, then that already exists. It's not that I'm creating a picture out of thin air. It already exists. And if it already exists, that means all that's left for me to do is for me to accept that it's already done, right? So now if I just accept that it's already done, right? How good does that feel? And to me, that makes me feel loved. That makes me feel grateful, right? And by the way, the feeling, the emotion part, that you don't have to aim for that. It's just, it comes for me as a passive side effect, right? Because I'm accepting that creation is finished. I just accept that I already am, right? You already are the one who has their SP. I know that in your head, some of you logical thinkers are going to say, yeah, but I know I physically don't. It's okay. It's not about convincing yourself that you have something in the 3D that you don't. It's about understanding. As long as you identify with it, it's okay to know that you don't have it. We all know, even I know that I don't have the things that I'm claiming that I am, right? But I understand that I have it within myself and that it's already being experienced, that creation is finished. And that is why I can feel fulfillment in any form that I want. That is why there is no contradiction. That is why the feelings come so easy for me. Because when I have the same conviction that it's mine and it's done, guess what happens next? My brain starts painting pictures, right, of us together. I start feeling whatever emotions come with that, whether it's relief, gratitude, joy, excitement, butterflies, you name it, right? It's so fun to do. And a lot of people, they get caught up on the whole, yeah, but it's not here or it's not mine and how do I know and blah, 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 right? Trust me, guys, on your journey, stick to the understanding that what you want is already done. Think about it. If you want that car, you want that raise at your work, you want that career, you want the SP, doesn't matter what it is. When you start thinking about it, what I want you to do is to instantly just accept that it's already done, right? How would you feel if this was true? Just go straight to that. If this was actually like the thing that you wanted and you're picturing it, if this was actually your life, how would it feel? Because now that you know creation is finished, technically it's already yours. It's just not yours physically yet. But who is stopping you from still accepting that, right? Who's stopping you from accepting that it's done within, and who's stopping you from feeling it within, right? From having the conviction. And the answer is nobody. It's yourselves, right? And that's why a lot of people get so caught up on manifestation. They really think that they have to start doing, these crazy processes, set alarms, you name it, honestly, set times to meditate in the middle of work, right? Like some people use their lunch breaks, right? And, I'm not going to say anything bad about that because if it helps you, it helps you. But to me, that's way too much effort, guys. Way too much. For me, honestly, I'm such a lazy manifester because I understand how simple it really is. And I wasn't always like this, by the way. It took a little bit of time and reading and experiencing things. But I eventually learned, holy crap, it's as simple as accepting it is already done. Like, think about it. If I want that money and I'm wanting it, like I'm craving it now, right? Like it's on my mind, right? I have a choice to be like, how am I going to get that? I wish I could get that. It would be nice to have this money. Or I can go, wait a minute, creation's finished. If creation's finished, then that means I'm having it already. That means I have it already. And if I have it already, then what am I doing with it? And then you're going to start painting the picture. But remember, you're painting the picture because you became it, right? You don't realize it. You're in this state that is producing those thoughts. So that's why I want you guys to practice understanding creation is finished. And if it's finished, then that means you are already having it. You already have it within. It's just in a place you can't see it, right? Just think of infinite timelines, infinite possibilities. Think of it like that, right? And think of it like lines. I'll buy a board soon, and I have a new one that I could probably use for the future. But just imagine a bunch of lines, right? Starting from here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like all those lines, right? So, for example, you guys are let's start from near lower, right? So this is where you are, right? All your 3D, your circumstances, everything is this line, right? You have to have this set of beliefs, this set of conviction to experience these set of circumstances, right? Good or bad. And let's say up here, your life is a little bit better, right? But it's not your ideal life. But let's say up here is the goal. Let's say up here is SP, everything you ever want, right? Your job is when you're living your regular life and you get back to your default state, you are literally here, right? This is your default. But now when it pops into your head and you understand creation is finished, it's already mine, and you just accept that, guess where you align now? Boop, right there, right? And guess what happens? You're going to feel good for a little bit, and then it's going to return, boom, right back to normal, right? And the problem people make is they think that they have to now set all these alarms and processes. Oh, I got to go here again and here again and here, like every 5 seconds. It's not like that, guys. It's only when you want it, right? And when you understand creation is finished, really, you understand that there's no rush. There's no need to force these processes. It's Are you in the mood to fulfill yourself? That's rule number one, right? I tell all my clients, stop trying to fulfill yourself if you're not in the mood to do it. So many people come to me and they're telling me, oh, but I'm setting these alarms, I'm doing all these things. Even when I'm not in the mood, I just persist. And guess what happens, guys? They come back days later spiraling. Why? Because when you're forcing yourself to do techniques to get something and you're not in the mood to do it, especially, guess what you're creating? It's a little thing called resistance, right? And the thing about force versus force is you will never win because that's part of the rules you made, right? So that's why I tell people, when you want something, right? Whenever you crave something, whenever you're missing something, right? That you desire, right? A lot of people say that's lack, which is, it was technically yes. Like staying in desire, staying in that is in wanting is lack, right? Because to desire something over and over is to imply you don't have it, right? The problem is people don't make the switch of creation is finished when the desire hits them, right? So SP pops into the head, boom. The usual people's brain, especially the overthinkers, are, oh, I got to do these processes now to get SP. In reality, what I do, and this is what I want you guys doing, is SP pops in the head, remind myself, creation is finished. If the fact that she's even on my head and that I want her or him, right, whatever it may be, it means it's already done. If it's already done, then I can feel the relief of that. I can feel good about it. I can walk away just being, it's done. Thank you. Boom, done. Walk away. And just like that, I went here again, right? And I'm not going to try to hold it. I'm not going to try to do anything crazy. But, eventually I'll go back down here to my regular dwelling state, right? Because this is my neutral zone, right? And that's okay. We're trying to make this the new neutral zone. So how do we do that? It's whenever we're in the mood, right? Not when it just pops in our head, but it pops in our head and we're in the mood to give it to ourselves, which for me is almost every time, because how could I not want what I want, right? So when I'm in the mood, pops in my head, boom, instantly, thank you, it's done. Like I just remind myself, it is already finished. That timeline is already done. That possibility is already experienced. The only thing stopping me from letting it catch up to my real 3D experience is deciding that it's not already done, is deciding that I am not already that person, right? I am the one who has that desire. I say what goes, right? I'm the one who literally decides what I get and what I don't get, right? I take credit for the good and the bad in my life. And my perspective is, and by the way, if it offends you guys, by the way, I apologize. You don't have to take this stance that I view my life from if you don't want to. I believe if you've read the books I've read, you will eventually come to a similar understanding. But that being said, I view myself literally as God. I'm not saying that I'm the source in its full form. I'm saying I am God in human form. So I am the creator. I created all this. This is how I view my life from. And when I understand I created all this, and I understand that because I created all this, I also created all other possibilities. I created everything else. Then how can I walk through my life in fear? How can I walk through my life feeling sad that I don't have SP or money or whatever? How can I walk through my life consistently in lack? It makes zero sense to me, guys. And that's what I'm trying to teach you. I'm trying to make sure that you guys, always return to this understanding that you are literally God having a human experience. You are the Almighty in a human shell that agreed to enter this world with limited rules and forgetting who you are. This is part of the game. That's why that book is called The Game of Life and How to Play It. This is literally a game, right? And the way you play this game is you give yourself things, right? You do it within yourself because you understand that creation is finished, right? So when you know that all those possibilities, so that means this line is a possibility, this and this and this and this and this, these are all timelines, right? It means if you want this timeline, then all you have to do is accept that it's already you, that you already are in that timeline, right? You accept that I am it. And you don't do it trying to force yourself to kind of convince yourself that it's mine physically, I have it physically. No, that's delusion in a bad way. That's crazy, right? I don't like teaching that because you don't have to. What you have to understand is my inside becomes my outside. So my outside is always catching up to my inside, right? So if my outside is playing catch up to what I do in here, inside myself, then does it not make sense that whenever I think of my desire, I remind myself that it's already done, that creation is finished? And because I know it's finished now, I can easily just accept the state of the wish fulfilled, right? For me, I can just accept it's mine. And when I become that person, that's when I feel relief. That's when I feel gratitude. That's when I feel loved. That's when I feel abundant, right? I don't let any other crap stop me. Why? Because I understand my 3D is always playing catch up to what I've been doing inside myself. So if I'm not happy with my life, then I know that there's no one to blame but myself. Why? Because everyone is me pushed out. And on top of that, when I apply that with creation is finished, that I understand all I got to do is start viewing the person I want as the way I want them to be in this timeline, right? And I got to start viewing myself as I'm on this timeline as well, not down here, this one, right? And the rest of the time that I'm not thinking about them, I'm chilling here, but I'm just not going below, if that makes sense, right? A lot of people think that, oh, they have to hold it up here, and then when they fall back to regular, which is not negative, they're like, oh, no, it's not, I have to go back. No, of course you can do that if you want, right? But what I do is, I'm in the mood, bop, back to normal, right? And then I'm chilling whenever the next time comes, bop, back to normal. Notice the one thing I don't do though, I don't go here, ever, boom. I do my best to not go down below. Why? Because I understand if creation is finished, good and bad, then why am I gonna identify with the bad? It makes zero sense, right? So that is how I want you guys to start looking at life. That is how I want you to start looking, through your eyes, right? Like I said, you don't have to accept how I look at life, but I'm telling you, for me personally, it helps big time. It helps me kind of wash away all the anxiety, all the fears, right? Because the only thing I got to deal with is the nuisance of the time delay, right? So if something bad happens, I'm just like, man, it sucks I got to walk through this, but I understand I created, it's okay. That being said, I don't live in fear, right? Yes, I react here and there. I'm not perfect. I'm only a human. I'm God, but I'm having a human experience, right? And that's part of it. We're supposed to have these experiences. And when I know these things, it's much easier to accept negative emotions, negative feelings, right? So when I feel lack, when I feel anxiety, even, truth be told, even as I'm recording this, I have a knot in the middle of my stomach, right? And it's just anxiety. And honestly, I didn't sit down to kind of get rid of it yet. I just said, you know what, I'll record this and then I'll deal with it after, right? And even as I'm anxious right now, as I record this, I know that it's just because something in the back of my head that I didn't address yet, which I will get to after this, I'm looking at it from a human perspective, right? I'm not looking at it from the eyes of God. And I'm telling you, once this video is done and I do that, that feeling is going to be gone. Boom. And it's that simple. Why? Because I understand that creation is finished. And if creation is finished, then that means that the version of myself and the life that I want is already being experienced. So now let's step into that. How good does it feel, right? How amazing does it feel to be loved, to have money, the security you want, to get to know that you're coming home to your husband or your boyfriend or girlfriend or wife, whatever it may be, right? How good does it feel to know that you get to come back to that, come back home to that? How good does it feel to know that when you are going in the shower that they're going to be behind you or that you get to be behind them and you get to hold them and spend time with them, right? How does it feel to know that you already have the amount of money you want or the career? Step into these identities. Do it temporarily. You don't have to hold it. Just return to it, guys. And when you return to it, that is creating the habit, which then keeps you up here. And the problem is people go up here and then they fall back here. And then during the day, they'll be cruising, and then bop, low again. And then maybe they'll do one here and then low and then one here and then two more low. And then it's like nothing's changing and so on and so on. It's because they're spending majority of the time, identifying with their present 3D, right? I don't do that. I acknowledge it. I acknowledge the roadblocks. I acknowledge the things that are bothering me, right? I acknowledge what I don't like because I look at that as a mirror showing me where I'm making mistakes within myself, where my beliefs are lying, right? And that I say thank you. When I see the bad in my life, I say thank you because once again, I understand creation is finished. So if I'm looking at the bad, that means that the opposite has to exist. That means that the best case scenario has to be there. And if the best case scenario has to be there, then I can focus on that instead. Even though, yes, I know this thing over here is scary, but this thing over here is like wish fulfilled. Like it's beautiful there. The grass is greener, everything. So it's okay to feel bad about the thing here, but go to the other side as well, right? Return to the other side more than the bad side. And I'm telling you, when you live your life with this understanding that creation is finished, that every single timeline and possibility is already created, it is just waiting for you to activate it, right? So many times you will hear that you have to, for example, even the channel that I always recommend, right? Be Something Wonderful. So anyways, if he's watching this, shout out to you. I love you, buddy. They use it's one of the few people I actually recommend just because there's a lot of misinformation. I like kind of guiding you guys to people that teach source material. So he uses an example of in one of his older videos. I remember a long time ago, he was mentioning lighting up the timeline, right? It's the same thing, guys. He's correct. You're lighting up the timeline. So remember when I mentioned all the lines, right? It's when you're in here, you light up that line. And when you jump here, you're lighting up that line as well. So I fully agree with that concept, right? It's pretty much lighting up. It's activating. And what I tell clients over the phone, right? I tell my clients, imagine you're in the middle of a ocean, right? And In the middle of the ocean, you are stepping on a platform. And this platform is it's like a stepping stone, a big one. And there are infinite stepping stones for as far as the eye can see, okay? And each stepping stone, when you step on it, it lights up, right? So when you step into a stepping stone, that is, think of it like a state of consciousness, a set of new beliefs, a new identity, right? Your job is to find the one, go to the one that is you with your desire, right? What would it feel like if you already had it? What would life look like? What would your thoughts look like if you already had it? Step into that, okay? Boom. When you light that one up, guess what? Your job is to return to it until it becomes your new base, your new home, your headquarters, right? That's all you're doing, guys, okay? So just what I want you to take away from this video is creation has always been finished. There is nothing that's waiting for you to be, to create it. It's not waiting to be created, right? It's not waiting for you to do anything other than pretty much step into it, right? To give it life. Because remember, your awareness is the thing that gives life, and your lack of awareness is the thing that pretty much kills it. It lets things wither and die, as Neville says. That's why he explains, if you have a problem in your life, take your awareness off of that problem and focus it on the solution, right? Because when you focus it on the solution, you may not understand, but you're letting that problem die, right? You're letting it wither away and die. You're not letting it poison your present reality and then your future, right? You're focusing on the present. And that's what you guys are doing all the time. That's what I want you guys doing, at least. I want you guys focusing on the present moment when you think of your desire, right? Don't think about, what it's going to be, or don't think about the past. Think about it now in the present moment. You are it now, okay, guys? You have it now. You are the one that has your SP. You are the one that has the money. You have the raise. You have the health. It doesn't matter. Remember, creation is finished, guys, okay? So when you return to whatever desire you want, creation is finished. It's already done. You are just activating that timeline. And you activate it by accepting it, okay, guys? So that being said, thank you very much if you stayed all the way to the end. I tried to keep this one a little bit shorter, but that being said, expect a video soon from me. I'm as you know, I'm already tinkering around and I'm playing around with different content stuff, and you're going to see different videos of different things in the near future. So just bear with me. This is something new to me, and I didn't even intend to even teach the law publicly ever, really. It's something that I was doing privately, but as you know, this is a learning thing for me as well. I can teach the law efficiently, but the whole YouTube, all this stuff, I'm still getting used to it. So thank you, everyone, for being patient with me. I appreciate all of you that have stayed here. I appreciate all the support. Those of you that are new as well, that have subscribed, thank you for all the support, honestly. And I appreciate all the views. I appreciate all the likes and everything like that. So all I ask from you guys is, if this video inspired you in any form and taught you something or gave you a perspective that can now benefit you, all I ask is to hit that like button. I don't ask for anything more. Like and subscribe, that's it, right? You don't got to give me money. You don't got to do anything, okay? So I love you all very much, and I will see you all very, very soon, guys, okay? Take care.